Have you ever felt that you are giving everything you have, working relentlessly, yet all you receive in return is exhaustion and a tight pain in your chest? You begin to wonder whether you are walking the wrong path or why life seems so relentlessly harsh towards you. Many of us mistakenly believe that pain is a sign of failure, a signal telling us to stop. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Like a seed buried deep underground, silently enduring the pressure of soil and rock before breaking through and reaching for the light. Human growth also requires pain to shatter the old shell. The philosophy I want to share with you today is simple yet incredibly powerful. If you don't feel discomfort, you may not be moving forward. True success does not come from noise or fake comfort, but from the quiet momentum you build by confronting the hardest challenges every single day. I still remember the early years of my career when I felt as though I was walking in darkness. I worked hard, but no one noticed. Every step was filled with confusion and pain. And then I realized something crucial. A seed does not need to be seen by others. It only needs to keep growing under pressure. Pain is not meant to knock you down. It is a sign that you are growing. In today's video, I will share with you 8 principles to help you redefine pain and turn discomfort into a powerful force that leads to extraordinary success. We will explore why avoiding pain is actually the fastest way to remain trapped in an outdated and impoverished version of yourself. And you should stay until the very end of the video, because principle number 7 is the key that can change your entire life by helping you answer the most important question of all: what are you in pain for? Principle 1, don't confuse pain with failure. Human beings have a natural instinct programmed over millions of years to avoid anything that causes discomfort. For our ancestors, pain often meant danger, predators, or death. But in the world of personal growth, that instinct can become a chain. The biggest mistake I see people make is equating pain with failure. They assume that if the path they are on is filled with exhaustion and pressure, then they must have chosen the wrong direction. Let me share a law of nature with you. Have you ever watched a blacksmith at work? To turn a rough piece of iron into a razor-sharp sword capable of cutting through steel, does he place it on silk cushions? No, he throws it into a blazing furnace until it glows red. That is the pain of heat. Then he places it on an anvil and strikes it again and again with a heavy hammer. That is the pain of impact and pressure. If that piece of iron could speak, it would scream, "Stop, I am failing, I am being destroyed." But what is the truth? It is not being destroyed, it is being refined. It is transforming from something worthless into a masterpiece. The same is true for you. When you feel pressure from unpaid bills, from customer rejections, or from exhaustion after working extra hours, that is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are being refined. Pain is not a wall separating you from success. It is a signal that you are raising the standard of your life. If you feel no discomfort at all in your current life, I have bad news for you. You may be standing still, or worse, moving backward. Look at the difference between a flat road and an uphill climb. Walking on flat ground is comfortable. You don't need much effort, your heart doesn't race, and your muscles don't ache. But flat roads never lead to the summit. To reach the top of a mountain, you must accept short breaths, burning legs, and sweat stinging your eyes. Successful people are not those who feel no pain, but those who understand that pain is the price of climbing. I remember my early entrepreneurial days with an empty wallet and a mind full of doubt. It hurt to realize how little I knew. It hurt to be mocked by people I trusted most. I nearly quit because I thought I was failing. Then I realized that if I didn't walk through that pain, I would remain forever the young man milking cows on a farm with a bleak future ahead. I once made the same mistake of constantly seeking comfort whenever things became difficult. But success has no room for excessive emotional indulgence. Don't wish for life to be less painful. Wish for the strength to understand the value of that pain. Do you know what hurts more than effort? The pain of regret when you look back at wasted years and realize you did nothing with them. So from today on, when you face hardship, stand tall, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, this is not failure. This is an upgrade. This shift in thinking will completely change how you operate your life. And once you accept that pain as part of the journey, you will discover an even greater truth. All growth is essentially the process of breaking old limits to make room for a greater version of yourself. But how do you ensure that this breaking doesn't crush you? That answer lies in the next principle. Principle 2, all growth requires breaking old limits. All life on this planet follows one rule to grow. You must break the old shell. Think of a seed. To become a mighty tree that provides shade, that seed must endure an intensely painful biological process. It must crack open its hard protective shell so fragile roots can push through dry, resistant soil. It must die as a seed to be reborn as a tree. If the seed feared pain, if it clung to its safe shell, it would remain buried forever and eventually rot. Your life works exactly the same way. Right now, you have a limiting shell, your current habits, your current skills, and even your current income. You want more, you want wealth, influence, then you must break that shell. The discomfort, confusion, and insecurity you feel when trying something new are signs that your shell is cracking. Most people are stuck because they fear this breaking. They want new results, but refuse to let go of their old selves. They want to lose weight, but won't break unhealthy eating habits. They want wealth, but won't break reckless spending patterns. They avoid the pain of change and end up imprisoned in an outdated version of themselves. Don't be one of them. Understand this, the pain of breaking is a sign that life is rising powerfully within you. I have a friend who was an excellent accountant but dreamed of becoming a speaker. Every time he practiced in front of a mirror, he felt deep psychological pain, self-doubt, fear of judgment, the feeling of looking foolish. That was the shell of a quiet accountant breaking to create an inspirational speaker. He endured that pain for 2 full years, accepting criticism and failed presentations. In the end, he transformed successfully. If he had avoided that pain to protect his old identity, he would have lived forever with regret. This breaking is similar to physical training. If you want to lift 220 pounds, you must accept that your muscle fibers will tear microscopically during training. That is the breaking of physical limits. Your mind requires similar tears. When you read a difficult book or learn a complex business strategy, your brain is forming new connections, and that process is never comfortable. People often ask me, Jim, why do I have to choose this painful path? My answer is simple, because there is no other choice if you truly want to live. Either you endure pain to grow, or you endure pain because life leaves you behind. Comfort is a sugar-coated poison. It numbs you until one day you realize you have lost your entire potential. I chose comfort in my 20s, and the price I paid was poverty and stagnation. Only when I decided to break my limits under Mr. Schaaf's guidance did my life begin to shine. I realized that every major change begins with a very small awakening, accompanied by significant discomfort. Don't fear being broken. Celebrate it, because a greater version of you is about to emerge. But remember, the true power of this principle only comes when you understand that mental pain must be trained and understood, just like athletes train their muscles. And that is exactly what I will share with you next, where we turn pain into a sharpened weapon. Principle 3, avoiding pain is the fastest way to preserve mediocrity. There is a quiet tragedy unfolding in the lives of millions of people. They pour all their energy and intelligence into designing a life with no pain. They choose jobs they already know how to do, so they never have to face the confusion of being a beginner. They stay in toxic relationships because they fear the pain of loneliness that comes with walking away. They justify their laziness with polished phrases like being content is happiness. But let me be blunt with you. Avoiding pain is how you build a prison around your own potential. Imagine a man living in a comfortable air-conditioned room. He never steps outside because he fears the scorching sun or the biting cold. He never runs because he fears muscle soreness. He never debates because he fears hurting his pride. After 10 years, he has a safe life, but his body is weak, his mind is empty, and his soul is withered from lack of experience. That is not living. That is stagnant existence. The price of comfort today is unbearable regret tomorrow. I often observed young people in the 1,970 seconds and 1,980 seconds. The ones who achieved extraordinary success were not the smartest. They were the ones willing to jump into the fire of challenge the earliest. They accepted the pain of being rejected 100 times to earn a single yes. Meanwhile, the overly sensitive ones, terrified of being hurt, stepped back and watched opportunities pass into someone else's hands. You cannot want glory while keeping your hands perfectly clean. Life is a series of transactions, and the price of greatness is the sacrifice of false security. The pain of change may last a week, a month, or even a year, but the pain of regret for never daring to change lasts a lifetime. I have met people in their 60s whose eyes grew heavy as they spoke about dreams they once had but never pursued because it felt too hard back then. Don't become one of them. If today you feel difficulty, if you feel pain, be grateful. At least you are truly in the game of life, not sitting in the stands watching others shine. And remember, this comfort is a sweet trap. It makes you forget that you were born with wings. Only when life throws you out of the nest, only when you feel the instability and fear of empty space, do you begin to learn how to flap your wings. Don't pray for an easier life. Pray to become stronger and willing to welcome every challenge as a gift of growth. If these philosophies are helping you see your struggles in a more empowering way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We are here to train the mind with you, turning the pain of discipline into the fruit of success. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable lessons on your journey to conquering your own peak. Principle 4, strong people don't avoid pain. They understand its meaning. The greatest difference between an exceptional leader and an average person is not the wealth they possess, but their attitude toward adversity. The average person sees pain as an enemy, bad luck, or an injustice of fate. They spend their time complaining, why me? Strong people see pain as a strict teacher. They pause, look it straight in the eye, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? To understand pain means recognizing the purpose behind discomfort. A marathon runner understands that the burning in the calves is a sign the body is switching to fat-burning mode and building endurance. An entrepreneur understands that the pain of losing a major client is a lesson in improving service and diversifying income streams. When you find meaning in pain, you are no longer its victim. You become its master. Look at the lives of historical figures. Do you think they lived comfortable lives? Not at all. They endured betrayal, bitter failures, and extreme loneliness, but they did not run. They understood that to turn the wheels of history, they needed endurance far beyond the ordinary. They treated pain as fuel to ignite their will. I learned this from the worst experiences of my own life. There were times when I lost everything due to poor decisions. That pain tore through my self-respect. But instead of drowning in self-pity, I sat down with my notebook and analyzed every mistake. I understood that the pain had come to punish arrogance and lazy thinking. Through that understanding, I stood back up with a sharper mind and a stronger heart. People often ask me how to remain calm in the middle of a storm. The answer is simple. Train yourself to understand pain in small things first. When someone criticizes you, instead of reacting with anger, understand it as an opportunity to train patience. When a problem arises at work, understand it as a chance to sharpen your problem-solving ability. Don't waste any pain. Turn it into capital. The world does not owe you an easy life, but it will make way for those who know how to use pain as a stepping stone upward. If you feel stuck and exhausted, remember this. Even the most precious diamonds are formed from carbon under tremendous pressure deep within the earth. You are in that process right now. But let's go one step further to a lesson I wish I had learned 10 years earlier, why mental pain is the best gym for a brilliant future. We will explore the law of the muscles of the soul next. Principle 5, the law of the muscles of the soul. Imagine walking into a gym early in the morning. You see a man trying to lift a weight beyond his comfortable limit. Veins bulge, sweat pours, and his face contorts with effort. If you've never trained before, you might think, why is he torturing himself like that? But if you ask a fitness expert, they will tell you that's not torture, that's construction. He is tearing old muscle fibers to build stronger ones. I want you to understand this ultimate truth. Your soul and your will operate by the same law as muscles. For your thinking to become sharper, for your character to become more resilient, it must experience small tears under pressure. Prolonged comfort is the disease of muscle atrophy for the soul. If your life is too smooth, if no challenge makes you wrestle, if no burden forces you to brace yourself, then your will is quietly growing weaker. I have witnessed many people collapse under minor life events. A single criticism from a boss, a small project failure, or a market shift sends them into panic. Why? Because they have spent too long in the comfort zone. They never allowed their soul to be trained under the weight of responsibility and pain. In contrast, those accustomed to adversity meet new challenges with a strange calm, not because they don't feel pain, but because they know this pain is reinforcing their willpower muscles to carry greater things. Look at real life. When you force yourself to learn a skill that feels extremely difficult, your brain is lifting weights. When you restrain anger to behave professionally, your discipline muscle is being trained. I often say, don't wish for the load to be lighter, wish for your shoulders to be stronger. Strong shoulders don't come from prayers, they come from having carried painful loads in the past. During my years working with top millionaires, I noticed one common trait: they were mental bodybuilders. They didn't fear pressure, they sought it. They knew that beyond each painful breakthrough, a new level of capability was unlocked. I learned that every great transformation begins with a very small awakening, usually accompanied by deep discomfort. When you start to feel pain from poverty, pain from your own laziness, that is the moment you begin lifting weights to change your life. I made the same mistake when I was young. I avoided difficult conversations and refused to face my own terrible financial numbers. I feared the pain of admitting failure. But Mr. Schoaf once told me, Jim, if you don't look at that pain, you will never have the strength to fix it. He was right. When I chose to face it, inner strength rose within me like never before. Life charges those who are lazy in thinking and training with an empty future. So tell me, will you choose the pain of discipline today or the pain of regret tomorrow? Principle 6. There is no growth without discomfort. Many people come to me and ask, Jim, how can I succeed without having to go through so much turbulence and anxiety? My answer is always the same. You are looking for something that does not exist in this world. That belief is a dangerous illusion. Growth and comfort are two forces that can never occupy the same space. If you choose comfort, you must give up growth. If you choose growth, you must say goodbye to comfort. Look at how all living things develop. When a lobster grows, its old hard shell becomes tight and painful. To survive and continue growing, it must crawl into a crevice, shed that old shell, and remain extremely vulnerable until a new, larger shell forms. If the lobster chose comfort and kept its old shell, it would eventually be crushed by it. Human beings have shells too. These are old beliefs, outdated social circles that no longer help us grow, and stagnant habits that have settled deep into our lives. Letting go of them is incredibly painful. It feels like cutting away a part of your own flesh. But that is the price of growth. You cannot carry all your old heavy baggage and expect to climb the mountain of success. You must leave it behind. And what separation ever happens without pain? The truth is this: if your life feels too smooth, if nothing keeps you awake at night, if no goal makes you restless, then you are standing still. And in a world that never stops moving, standing still means falling behind. I have met countless people who say, I want to be wealthy, but I don't want to work weekends, or I want to be an expert, but I don't want to give up watching TV every night. They want results, but they refuse to pay the price of discomfort. You must understand that the discomfort of learning a new language, dealing with a demanding client, or completely changing the way you work is simply a tax you pay for greatness. Do not complain about paying this tax. Be grateful that you still have the capacity to grow. The successful people I know deliberately place themselves in states of controlled discomfort. They actively seek new challenges so they never sink into complacency. I learned that success is not a destination. It is a lifelong process of character development. And character is never formed in comfort. It is forged through impact, failure, and moments when you must do the right thing even though it hurts deeply. When you begin to value discomfort as a companion, you will see doors open that you never noticed before. But remember this: the secret is not how much pain you endure, but how you direct that pain. If you have ever felt that you were suffering without meaning, the next principle is the key to awakening. The important question is not, am I in pain, but what am I in pain for? Principle 7, the question that changes destiny. What are you in pain for? Throughout my years of sharing philosophy, I have met thousands of people who complained about their pain. But when I looked deeper into their stories, I discovered a hard truth: not all pain has the same value. Some pain lifts you upward, while other pain drags you into the mud. That is why the most important question you must ask yourself today is not why am I in pain, but what am I in pain for? There are two types of pain in life, and you must choose one. The first is the pain of discipline. This is the pain of waking up at 5 in the morning while the world is still asleep, the pain of saying no to a party so you can finish your business plan, the pain of forcing yourself to read difficult books to expand your mind. This pain weighs only a few ounces, but it gives you self-respect, strength, and a bright future. The second is the pain of regret. This is the pain of realizing you wasted 10 years of your youth on meaningless distractions. The pain of watching peers succeed while you remain trapped in survival mode. The pain of being unable to provide a decent life for your family because of past laziness. Remember this clearly: the pain of regret weighs tons. It is a crushing burden that stays with you until your final breath. The difference between successful people and failures is simple. Successful people choose the light pain of discipline today to avoid the heavy pain of regret tomorrow. You cannot escape both. Life is a fair arena. You must pay a price to participate. If you are in pain because you are working hard to build a career, congratulations. That is the pain of investment. But if you are in pain because of stagnation and scarcity, wake up immediately. That is the pain of decay. I once knew a young entrepreneur who was devastated when his company collapsed and he lost everything. But when he reflected and realized that this pain came from having dared to fight to test his limits, he smiled. He said, Jim, at least I'm in pain because I fought, not because I stood by like a coward. That is the mindset of a champion. Choose the pain you can be proud of. If you feel you are at the edge of your endurance, let this question guide you. Do not let your tears be meaningless. Turn them into bricks that build the castle of your success. And to do that, you need one final step, a real action that helps you face and overcome, not just think. Principle 8, write it down and face it. Turn pain into an action map. Philosophy without action is illusion. You now understand that pain is a signal of growth, and you know how to distinguish between different types of pain. So what do you do next? The final principle I want you to practice starting today is this: do not let pain remain trapped in emotion. Bring it into the light and put it on paper. There is a powerful transformation that happens when you pick up a pen and write down what hurts you most. When pain stays in your mind, it is a giant shadowy monster. But when you write it down, I'm in pain because I'm in debt, I'm in pain because I'm falling behind my peers, I'm in pain because I lack discipline, pain becomes data, and data can be solved. I want you to do a simple but life-changing exercise. This week, set aside one quiet hour, take a blank sheet of paper and divide it into 2 columns. In the left column, write down every pain you have been avoiding, everything you know you should face, but fear because of discomfort. In the right column, write the price you will pay if 5 years from now you are still avoiding those things. When you clearly see how massive the price of regret is, the pain of discipline becomes much easier to accept. I have done this exercise hundreds of times throughout my career. Whenever I feel lazy or afraid, I look at the column labeled the cost of regret. The truth is, I fear poverty and mediocrity far more than I fear working a few extra hours. Facing reality is the beginning of all freedom. Do not wait for someone to rescue you from difficulty. You must take the wheel of your own life. Use your current discomfort as fuel. If you are in pain because you are poor, use that pain to work harder. If you are in pain because you lack knowledge, use that pain to stay up late and read. Turn pain from a chain into a launch pad. Remember this: everything great begins with a small decision. Today may be that day for you, the day you decide to face pain head on. Do not let tomorrow be stolen by today's procrastination. Act now, because life waits for no one. We have traveled a long journey of thought together, from redefining pain to transforming it into real power. I hope that after this video, when you face difficult challenges, you will no longer bow your head and complain, but smile and say, "Thank you, life, because I know I am growing." Success is not a destination where everything is perfect and calm. Success is the daily journey of persistence, accepting the scars of growth as you become a better version of yourself. Do not be fooled by illusions of fast and easy success. What comes easily rarely lasts, and what lasts never comes easily. What pain have you been avoiding all this time? What truth have you been afraid to face? I want you to write it down and confront it this week. If you are committed to personal growth and refuse to retreat from challenges, leave a comment below and let me know you are still walking this path with me. I truly appreciate you staying until the end of this video. That alone proves you are serious about your future. Please like this video if it brought you value, and share it with a friend who needs strength to overcome adversity. To close today, I want to leave you with a quote I live by: don't pray for an easier life. Pray to become stronger. Don't pray for fewer problems. Pray for more skills. I'll see you again in the next lessons on the path to greatness.